Hello, Vintage Stereo Buff here. About a week ago I bought this Orion amplifier off of eBay. Orion 250 SX. Really nice amplifier. This was rated at 50 watts per channel times 4. Or 50 watts per channel times 2 into 4 ohms. It's 100 watts per channel times 2 into 2 ohms, or 200 watts bridge mono into 4 ohms. It's an unregulated power supply. And I'm not sure what year this is. Here's the end of it. It has the mono button and an equalization button. There's a level control and some peak indicators and right and left inputs and a 10 plug. And when I got it, it was sent to me. It didn't have the speaker plugs. The speaker plugs that go in here. It didn't have those. So I ordered some from Mouser Electronics to make some new harnesses, and here they are. You can buy those. I bought 3 of these, and then they come with little pins that look like this. The pins, and you put the pins together in wires and snap these together and make the harnesses. I'll show you how to do that later. But what I was going to tell you is, when I got inside, I noticed the yellow wire here. The yellow wire goes to the socket, and according to the Orion manual that I looked up on a internet website on a PDF file, according to that PDF file from Orion, this yellow and the yellow and black wire are the right channel. But I got to checking, and on my amp, here's the right channel over here, and the orange wire is the positive for my right channel. It's in the center pin in the bottom. It's not like, it's the opposite of what the manual says it's supposed to be, but I checked it, and this orange, the orange right output does correspond to the right input, and the left input corresponds and comes out of the yellow and black, which on mine are actually the left. They're for some reason reversed, and I'll demonstrate that for you here in a second. I'm going to plug audio into only the left channel. Only the left input's being used, and I have my right speaker wire disconnected. Only the left speaker. The left speaker is hooked to the left amplifier channel. The left channel is connected to the yellow. This one, which is supposed to be right. And I'll play test tone, and you'll see that it plays. And watch when I unhook this from the left channel. Now I'll hook the same input back into the right channel and turn the amp on, and as you can see, no sound. So the right channel does not go to the yellow and the yellow and black. They had it put in wrong for some reason. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I corrected the problem. Okay, so now that I've got that out of the way, it's a nice little amp. Orions are known for being underrated, producing quite a bit more power than they say. Of course, their ratings are taken at 12 volts, and then actually operating in a car where you have 13.8 volts to 14.5, you will get considerably more wattage out of it. And it seems to have a lot of transistors. I see there are 11 transistors on each side, and it looks like five of these, they look one way. There's 5, and the other 6 here look slightly different. These 5 here and these 5 here, they're all tied into this toroid here in the power supply section and into these caps. So these are the power supply transistors, the switching transistors. And this is the little OP amp that tells them when to switch on and off. It operates these and switches these off and on really fast, and then runs this charge into this coil, this transformer in the primary, and in the secondary increases the voltage up, and it charges these capacitors here. And then the rest of these are all the output transistors. And this section here has 4 2200 microfarad capacitors, 35 volt 2200. So there's 8800 microfarads here, and then over here, these are in this output section. These are each 1000. So there's 4000 microfarads in there. Doesn't seem like a lot to me, but I'm used to old time power supplies and amps, and from what I understand, these new switching power supply amps, when they're well designed, they usually use fairly small capacitors in comparison to older ones, well designed ones. They function a little differently. But anyway, I'll get off of that for right now and show you these little connectors. Here are the part numbers for these parts, if you would like to write those down, for the pins and the plugs. And wait just a second and I'll show you how these little pins and plugs work. They're really simple. I didn't really have any good wire that I need. I bought the amp on eBay, and I wanted to get back on the, give him back his feedback promptly. So I wanted to test the amp, and I didn't have the right speaker wire to make a good one. So I just used lamp cord to make one up, and I got several more to make some new ones. And this, it's really easy. You just strip this. This is 14 gauge wire. I think it's the largest it'll go in here. And the little connector may be hard to see. It's got a little place you clamp here and here. And on this 14 gauge wire, I can actually get the thing to slide on into that little tube up until this plastic part is in this little clamp position. I don't know if you can see that very well. I got it moved in here to where the copper connector itself is shoved in this tube, and at the base there's little tabs to clamp in, like a crimp connector. I imagine there's a special tool to do this better, but I just had to use needle nose, and it seems to work. And then you do this, and then clamp this on the casing to hold it, anchor it, so you're not pulling on the connection. And then you just slide these in here and they snap. And once they snap in, they won't come back out. So I'm not going to put it in and waste my connector. I have enough of these, I can discard that. But anyway, that's how you can make these. I bought 3 connectors and 36 pins. That was about $4. I think I spent about a few dollars on shipping. I think it was maybe $5 or $6 for the parts. And from what I understand, somebody on eBay has been making up little harnesses from these things and selling them for like $10 to $15 each. And you can get them a lot cheaper. You can buy a whole. You can make a bunch of your own for less than that. Anyway, I just thought I'd like to show you this new amp, and I guess now I'll go ahead and turn it around here, and I'll hook up this other speaker back up. Put it in both inputs. Yeah, commercials, they get reversed.
Is well on his way to breaking the record for the world's longest line dance.
Digging the ground, beer on ice, just like old Hank taught us about. Singing along, boasting the songs, rowdy friends all night long. Good time. Oh, we having a good time. Yeah, I've been working all week and I'm tired and I don't want to sleep and I want to have fun. It's time for a good time.
I'll send it over to my colleague in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, where the world's longest line dance continues.
Thanks, Amy. I'm live here at the Kentucky State Line for Alan Jackson's attempt to break the record for world's longest line dance.
Heel toe, do-si-do, scooting our boots, swinging doors, B&B, kicks and done, honky tonk heaven, double shotgun.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to show you, I guess, for now. I'm debating whether or not to put this in my vehicle. Over and out. Vintage Stereo Buff.